as wait staff, that's what it's about. It's about upselling. Wine is probably, selling it to make money is definitely your number one reason to try to upsell wine. If you did quick math and sold like 4 bottles at $24 a bottle each shift, in 5 shifts, that would be an extra $100 in tips approximately. And that's by just selling 4 bottles. You say, well, that's great. I can sell liquor too. You know, I can do sell desserts, you know. I don't like having to open the bottles at the table. It takes longer, it intimidates me. I'd rather just upsell some other items. You're really cutting yourself short, because for the full dining experience, they'll buy desserts, they'll buy appetizers. But wine does something to a meal that no other beverage really does. And this is why you should sell wine, is it enhances the dining experience as no other beverage can. And the reason why is wine has acid in it. And maybe if you had a very lemony iced tea, it would also work for this. But as you take each sip of wine, it cleanses your palate, your tongue. And it makes each bite of food taste as good as the first bite. You know, when you start eating something, you're like, oh, this is great. But by the time you're halfway through it, you've had the flavor 10 times in your mouth, and you're okay. You're just getting full now. Well, if you drink wine through a meal, it literally will make each bite taste as good as the next bite, and it keeps your palate cleansed. And also, if the wine complements each other, then you'll get a whole nother integration of flavors. Wine also tends to make meals more memorable. You probably have gone out, all of you seem of age, and had beers or, you know, cocktails somewhere, and it was what it was. But I bet if you went somewhere and you shared a bottle of wine with a friend, you had dinner, I bet that sticks out in your memory more. Wine, for some reason, a bottle of wine makes a meal more memorable. And so it'll enhance the overall dining experience. You'll make more money, and they'll come back because they had a great meal, great bottle of wine, and everything was just what they wanted, simple, and they enjoyed themselves. Something wrong we've done in the United States is we complicated wine. We made it so complicated. We made it like it's for only people up here, and it's stuffy and snobby. And this was more when I was more your age. The new generation, the millennials, they're drinking wine. Wine is no big deal. I can drink wine like anybody else. So you guys are really at a great age and a great time in the wine world to sell wine. People are into it. People love to hear about it. They want to try new wines. They are all over it. So it makes it much easier for you to sell wine. Additionally, having the fear of not having having to open the bottle, most wineries are taking that fear away from you because we've gone to screw caps. And another word for that is a Stelvin enclosure. It's basically a screw cap.
You can quote her on that too. You're getting a Stelvin enclosure.
And why is that? I heard one thing.
And the reason why is California wines in particular. 1 out of every 10 bottles in the industry from California that was with a cork in it is bad. The cork has tainted it. Cork is a living creature, and it has bacteria. So it has the tendency and riskiness that it can taint the wine. So here we are as Americans, we already think it's, we're a little intimidated by wine, and then we go to the grocery store, we bring home a bottle, we drink it, we're like, I don't like that, or you're drinking bad wine and you don't know it, or a winery's wine is not being represented correctly because it's tainted. I mean, that's like 10% of the wine. Wine, is bad and being consumed because most people don't know how to recognize a tainted wine, which I should cover real quick. If a wine smells mildewy, musty, old, or a customer, for whatever reason, simply says, this wine is bad, it is no questions asked whatsoever as a server. I'm sorry, would you like to try the same wine, a new bottle, or would you like to make another selection? Because Deanna can give that bottle to Mike and say, Mike, this was a bad bottle. It doesn't happen as often anymore because we've gone to screw caps, but there used to be a lot of trouble with that.
Your house wine will never come back. Your center home, never. But some of your varietals off your list, I'm sure you've all had your instance of the customer saying, hey, this is a varietal.
Is that for reds and whites?
Yeah.
Reds and whites.
Yeah. And it's just not worth also, I'm sure she has her own policies as well, but, generally you try to please your customer, and if they don't like something, then you try to give them something else.
Is it
happy?
The corks actually come from a cork tree?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And all the shoes that were so popular, we wiped out the cork industry.
Right.
With
There's
shoes.
no more trees now. Yeah.
Yeah, we've really, but we
Yeah.
don't really need to use cork. It's a bad alternative.
But when they first came out with the screw tops, that had a stigma of it was your less quality wines.
And that's true, and a lot of people still feel that. But
right.
once they learn and understand why.
So I think that's good to be able to give them the education of why it's not has to do with the quality. Mm-hmm. It's actually better for the wine because it's going to not get tainted.
There's $100 bottle of wine's not coming with this stuff, but sky's the limit.
Right. And yes, $200 bottles are coming with screw caps. Now you'll still have old traditionalists like the old chateaus and Bordeaux's in France. Who knows if they'll ever change? They change much slow, But even Italians, they're putting some of their wines in it. New Zealand and Australia, almost 95% of what they produce is put in a screw cap. Everything. And in fact, they say if you live in New Zealand or Australia, even the fine wines that are $50 a bottle, are put in boxes now. So you're in an era where wine is changing like crazy, but the interest is off. Everybody wants to know about it, learn about it, drink it, be seen drinking it. So where you're at right now, a little knowledge will really help you make more money. And that's what I hope the result of all this is, and that you're more comfortable with selling wine. Just like you offer a appetizer or a dessert, it should be no different. It shouldn't make you panic, anything. It's just as easy. And it's not your fault. You guys are younger, but quite often, especially years ago, people got their wait staff especially, very intimidated about opening a bottle at a table. And that was really the hardest thing to overcome. But once you do that, pick one or two wines, a red and a white, that you're comfortable with on your wine list, and those are your go-tos. Get used to talking about them and make the money. People want you to offer wine. The worst sin would be not to offer it. Always offer it. If they drink, scotch every night, hey, you guys want to start with a bottle of wine tonight or a glass of wine? Put it out there. They like to be offered. Any questions so far? Like curiosities?
When in doubt, there's always a nice paragraph on the back of the bottle. It tells you about that bottle. So for a quick fix, a quick cheap, Kim Crawford dazzles with aroma of intense tropical fruit. You can pick up
a few words
just on the back of the bottle. Have you ever really looked at the back? There's information back there. So that's what I do when I look at a bottle of wine.
And Kim Crawford is a guy, right?
That is a good question. Kim Crawford is a guy.
How do you know?
One of the customers.
Really?
See, you're already learning, striking conversation. So we'll get into one of the. You want me to go through serving procedures?
Sure, absolutely.
Is everyone comfortable with opening a bottle or serving procedures?